welcome back to War of the Ring, where we're continuing here with, I believe this is turn 4. I did make an error in the last episode. There were actually 6 units in this area, and I moved 5 more in, which would have made 11. Army units here, you can only ever have 10 in one location, so I left one of the regulars behind. So that's been fixed up. Alright, we still have dice to play. It is the Free People's turn. They have 1 event die left. So let's get down and see what they want to do with that 1 die. Okay, the Free Peoples have basically an event die. So they can either draw a card or they can play a card. And I think we will be playing a card for them. So the card they are going to play... I do believe they're going to play this one, which is King Brand's Men. Not sure how well that'll focus. We're going to recruit 2 North regular units in Dale, and then we get to draw another strategy event card. So let's get those 2 extra forces in Dale, and then we're going to draw another card. Alright, so with all of the movements of Sauron around the world, the men of Dale are going to shore up their defenses. So Dale is up here, and they're going to get 2 more regular units. So now they have 3 regular units and 1 leader in Dale. Okay, we get to draw another strategy card for the Free Peoples. So that was played. We're going to draw another card, and we're going to see what it is. And the card we've just drawn is a Power Too Great. Play on the table. Advance the Elven Nation 1 step on the political track. That's awesome. While this card is in play, the Shadow player cannot move an army into or attack, either in the field of battle or in a siege, Lorien, Rivendell, or the Grey Havens. That is a good card for us to just pull at the moment. The Shadow player can force a Power Too Great to be discarded by using 1 action die result and discarding 1 army event card and 1 character event card from his hand. Okay, it was also could be used for battle, no quarters. If your combat roll or leader reroll scores at least 1 hit, score 1 additional hit. So that's the extra card we're going to be adding to the Free People's hand. And that's the last die for the Free Peoples. Unfortunately, the forces of evil, Sauron, Saruman, and the Easterlings and Southrons have 3 dice left. Yikes. And the 3 dice left for the evil player, Shadow player, is 1 Palantir event die and 2 muster army movement dice. So, what the player is going to do first, they are going to play an event card. So let's go and readjust camera again here, and we'll see which event card that the Shadow player is going to play. And the card they are going to play is Threats and Promises. Play this on the table. Okay, so now they're getting some cards in play. When Threats and Promises is in play, the Free People's Nation cannot advance a passive nation on the political track during a muster action die result. Ooh, that is pretty nasty, since Rohan, the men and the dwarves are high up on the track in the passive state. It says this, you may discard this from the table as soon as the Free People's Nation advances on the political track, either due to an attack or due to a companion's special ability. The companion's special ability means if one of the fellowship leaves the fellowship and gets to a nation and activates them, then we're going to get rid of this card. Or we can have Devilry or Thank. Play if an Isengard army unit is in the battle and the defending army is in a stronghold. You get to add 1 to all dice on your combat roll. So normally units defending a stronghold, you must roll a 6 to hit them. This would have been used to have a 5, but it's going to be out on the table now, which means the Free Peoples cannot advance the political track of the factions while they are still passive. Ooh, And the shadow player still has 2 more dice to use. The 2 remaining dice for the shadow player are both muster army dice, so of course they're going to spend one of them, obviously. They're going to use it for a muster. Let's go to the board and see what they're going to do. Alright, so Sauron has tasked Saruman to build him an army worthy of Mordor. And so we're going to use the muster die. We're going to look at the Saruman card. I'm just going to read it here. We're not going to actually look at it. And it is having to do with recruiting. It says, if Saruman is in Orthanc, which he is, then you can use a muster action die result to recruit 1 regular Isengard unit in every Isengard settlement, or replace 2 regular Isengard units in Orthanc with elite units. So he's going to recruit 1 Isengard unit in every settlement. There are 3 settlements. There's 1 here at Orthanc. So we get 1 regular unit here. There's 1 here in South Dunland settlement, and there's another settlement here in North Dunland. So the forces of Saruman are growing. 1 more die left for the shadow player. I wonder what they're going to do with that one. And the final die for the shadow player, of course, is the same one. It's the muster army movement die. They're going to use it once again for the muster. Back we go to Saruman. And Saruman is now going to use this muster die to replace 2 regular units. So we're going to remove the 2 regular units with 2 elite units in Orthanc, which is pretty good for Saruman. Not so good for Rohan. Whoops. As I knock things around, because little plastic miniatures sometimes don't want to stand upright and stay where you put them. Alright, 2 regulars go away, 2 more Warg Riders show up. And that's going to be all the dice for the shadow player. You're hearing the crinkling of the bag as I put those units back into the reinforcements for the shadow. Alright, that's it. And I think we still have time for this episode, so we're going to go back and start a new turn again with the Phase 1, which is recovering action dice and drawing event cards. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, it's recover dice time. So these are the... Now we have the extra die for the Sauron player, the shadow player, because Saruman is on the board and he contributed an extra die. We also have the one from the hunt for the ring box. So now the shadow player has 2, 4, 6, 8 dice that they're going to be using. And of course, our free people still have 4. So you can see that the shadow player has quite the advantage with the number of actions they can take in a turn, which is why it's vitally important for us to try and get Frodo and the Fellowship into Mount Doom, where he can destroy the ring and we can win the game. So now it is getting the 2 event cards. So of course the shadow player is going to get those in secret, hidden information, but we will look at the 2 cards we're going to immediately draw here now for the free peoples. And after we do that, of course, then we get to roll up the dice again. After we do the Fellowship phase, and then the Hunt for the Ring phase. Alright, let's do the event card drawing right now. And the 2 cards that we drew for the Fellowship, a character card and a strategy card. The first one is Anthalas. It says, roll 3 dice and heal 1 corruption point for each result of 5+. And if Strider is the guide, which he is right now for us, heal 1 corruption point for each die result of 3+. We have no corruption yet. The ring bearers have not been revealed or corrupted by the shadow forces so far. And then we have Anduril. Play if Strider Aragorn is in the battle. For rolling the dice, your leader re-roll, forfeit Strider's leadership to automatically change 1 missed die roll to a hit, or forfeit Aragorn's leadership to automatically change up to 2 missed die rolls to hits. Wow, so if Aragorn is leading, he get two extra hits instead of his leadership re-rolls. And if he's just Strider, it's just 1. Cool. The next one is the Book of Mazarbul. Move any or all companions who are not in the Fellowship. So far, they are all in the Fellowship. Then, if a companion is in Erebor, or Eredluin, those are dwarven communities, activate the dwarven nation and move it directly to the at-war step. So that's one way to just pump the dwarves to war instantly. Or we can use it as an army ability here. Advantageous position. Play if the defending army is inside the borders of Free People's Nation. Subtract 1 from all dice. In the combat roll of the shadow player, an unmodified 6 is still considered a hit. So we can buy some time there. Alright, those are the cards. We have 5 cards now. Remember, we can only ever have 6 cards in our hand. If we have more than 6, we have to immediately discard down to 6, and any discarded card is out of the game for good. So it's within our best interest to play as many cards as we can so we don't lose them. Alright, that was Phase 1. Phase 2 is the Fellowship phase, where we can either declare the location of the Fellowship if we want, or change the leader of the Fellowship. So let's take a look and see where our last known location of the Fellowship is and make those decisions. And our last known location for the Fellowship so far is still in Rivendell. They have not been revealed, and we have not declared them anywhere out in Middle-earth. And we're not going to declare them. We're going to leave them still hidden. You can see the 3 here up on the track. No corruption. Things are looking pretty good. Are we going to change the leader? We can change back to Gandalf, or we can leave the leader as Strider. We're going to leave the leader as Strider right now, because as the Free Peoples, I think what we want to do, because we've got so many armies amassing from Mordor and Saruman, we want to get Gandalf into the fray. So we're going to try to, if we roll the dice to do it, we're going to see if we can split off Gandalf from the Fellowship and have him go out into Middle-earth and try and help the beleaguered Free Peoples. It may or may not happen, depending on the dice. So that's going to take care of the Fellowship phase. Next is the Hunt allocation phase, where the Shadow player, because the Fellowship moved last turn, must put at least 1 die into the Hunt for the ring box. So let's go ahead and do that next. And here we have the Hunt for the ring box. And yes, I leave this little bead here to remind myself that the Fellowship did move last turn. And Sauron has lots of plans for his dice this turn, so he will put the obligatory 1 die in here because the Fellowship moved last turn, and that's all he's going to do. And now we'll get to the action roll phase, where we're going to roll up the action dice. Now, wow, with Saruman out, the Sauron player, the Shadow player, has 1 extra die, so we have a total of 8 dice now. Our Free People still only have 4 dice. Let's get to rolling them and see what results we get. Alright, the dice tray is in place. Let's roll up the 7 dice for the Shadow player, and any eye results immediately go to the Hunt for the ring box. That's a lot of dice. Ooh, and Sauron's eye is ever bent towards the ring. Obviously, we've got 2 eye results here. So now, this time, there will be a total of 3 dice in the Hunt for the ring box. That limits Sauron's ability to move and do things with armies on the map, but that doesn't worry him too much. All right, let's roll up the Free People's dice. Come on, let's get some good rolls here, and we get... All right, well, this time we got a Will of the West die, which is a special one. We have character, and we have 2 muster army movement dice. And remember, we cannot muster, we cannot move armies down the political track due to the fact that the Sauron player played Threats and Promises. So, ooh, it's going to get ugly. And first player will be the Free Peoples, unless they want to pass to the Shadow player because we have fewer dice than they do. To think about that, we're going to come right back. I think we're probably going to do 1 action each, and that's probably going to be the episode for today. All right, Free People's dice. We have 4. Sauron players got 5, so we're a little bit more even this time. But there's 3 dice in the Hunt box. We are going to use the Will of the West die. And what the Will of the West die says, it's a special die for the Free Peoples. We can change it to anything we want. And I think what we're going to change it to is we're going to change it to a character die, which we're going to use immediately. And with that character die, Dangerous dangerous as it is, we are going to attempt to move the Fellowship and hope that the hunt for the ring is unsuccessful, because they're rolling 3 dice this time. All right, that's going to go into there. We're going to move the Fellowship 1 space, and then we're going to have the hunt for the ring. All right, we are moving the Fellowship to space 4. They are 4 away from Rivendell, somewhere in Middle-earth. And now Sauron's minions are going to hunt for the ring. They're going to be rolling 3 dice. If they get 1 6 or any number of 6s, it's a success. And then we're going to have to draw a tile from the hunt bag. So let's get the dice tray out. Let's get rolling and hope that we can keep the Fellowship hidden. All right, this is it. We've moved the Fellowship. They've got 3 dice here. They're going to be rolling 3 dice. We really don't want to see a 6. And oh man, we got lucky. Oh, so far in this playthrough, we have gotten lucky, but the forces of evil are massing like crazy. The hunt is not successful. Forces of Sauron do not find cannot corrupt or find the Fellowship, so they're still hidden. Awesome. Wow. I'm going to end off this episode today by having the shadow player take 1 turn, and then we're going to end it off. So let's get to their dice and see which action they want to take. Okay, the shadow dice this time, they've got 1 character die, 2 musters, and 2 event palantir dice. They are going to use a muster die, and that's going to end off our episode for today. So what are they going to do with that muster die? I'm going to go to the board right now, and we will let you know. All right, back to Mordor we go for their muster action. They're going to do a recruit reinforcements. All of the factions are at war for Sauron, so that's not an issue. They're going to use there are 4 different options. The option they're going to use is recruiting 2 leaders in any 2 different friendly or free settlements. Their leaders are the Nazgul, so they're going to recruit 1 Nazgul to Morannon and 1 Nazgul here in Minas Morgul. So now you can see a lot of Sauron forces. And now there are 4 Nazgul in the area, so ooh, things could get ugly. Now, what's interesting is the shadow player doesn't have any army movement dice this time. They do have 1 leader die, though, so they could perform an attack with 1 army that has a leader in it. So, I don't know. We're going to find out what's happening in the next episode. So I'm going to zoom out. We're going to take a sort of quick look at Middle-earth and the situation we're in, which is pretty dire for the Free Peoples. And then we're going to wrap up our episode for today. All right, here we sit in Middle-earth. We have almost 30 armies massing outside Osgiliath and Pelargir here heading towards Minas Tirith. Wow. And we've got Sauron building up his Uruk-hai and Wargrider forces. We also have Dol Guldur and Moria emptied out their units. Looks like they're on their way to Lorien. And we've got the Fellowship has moved 4 times, 4 spaces away from Rivendell. They are still hidden. There's no corruption for Frodo yet. So there we sit after this much time of playing. So as you can see, it is a pretty long game, but it's fairly involved, and I guess we're going to find out what happens in the following episodes. Can we get Frodo and the Fellowship to Mount Doom and destroy the ring? That's the plan. But once Sauron, I guess, feels confident enough to start crushing the armies of the Free Peoples, that is going to get ugly. And if they get 10 points, each stronghold is worth 2 points, each settlement worth 1. If they can do that, they will have a military victory, and it won't matter what we do at the ring after that point. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for comments, subscriptions, likes. This is War of the Ring. Quite possibly the most awesome 2-player game you can have, especially if you're a Tolkien nerd. This is exceptionally awesome. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.